Whatever, y'all. Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, y'all are funny. I've been reading the comments. I just read one comment. Somebody, they call me, it's funny. Y'all call me grandpa. Y'all call me all this stuff. It's all good. I appreciate the jokes. I appreciate it. Keep them coming. Like I said, remember, just don't be mean to each other. Y'all can debate and stuff, but don't be mean. But I appreciate. Also, gotta reiterate, thanks for helping me get past 1,000. You know what I'm saying? Onward and upward. I was working on a song last night. I got some other songs cooking. I got to cook. Like I said, I'm trying to get at least one out before the end of August. And then I'm going to try one for September and probably one for October as well. But, I have to see. But I'm going to really put it down on it. But anyway, to the video, to the topic. Hi-Fi Rush, Tango Gameworks. Oh my gosh. Months ago, Microsoft was like, yeah, they done. We closing up shop, right? And then everybody's like, man, what are y'all doing? They made the best thing do with the game. Why y'all closing them down? I'm gonna get into that. I'm of two minds because I listened to a bunch of people talking about it, blah blah blah. Then I listened to Zucker, to whatever the numbers are after his name. And generally, I like Zucker. But I didn't have everything he said wasn't exactly false. Some things he said were true, but at the same time, he and all of the other sheeple are sitting there saying stuff without all of the information. No one knows the financial situation that Tango Gameworks was in. People keep saying, oh, they made Hi-Fi Rush, you should have put some money behind them and stuff, blah, blah, blah. But there are at least 3 other games before that really didn't do anything. I mean, they were critically liked. I'm not going to say acclaimed, but people liked those games, sure. Actually, I think there's 4. Anyway, but the bottom line is the bottom line. The bottom line is, I think what happened with Tango Gameworks first, let me say this first, is that, as I understand it, Hi-Fi Rush was in development for like 4 or 5 years. That's a long time for not a AAA game. Okay, let's say that. Because all of the perceptions of the public or of the fanboy are that all these AAA games take 6 years to make and they cost $300 million. Whose fault is that? That's Sony's fault. That's PlayStation's fault, because they have created this culture of, this is what a AAA game is. This is how much it costs. This is how long it takes to make, right? So first off, nah, they don't. One, I don't even have all the information, so I'm jumping to a lot of conclusions. One, I don't know how many members of Tango Gameworks there were that made Hi-Fi Rush. That's one thing, right? I think I heard 100 and something, under 200, maybe a little, I don't know. That's just off the top. I don't even know. So don't quote me on that. But the thing is, there's many factors that would contribute in them being closed. Mainly, the CEO left. The main dude behind it left, right? And you say, well, I mean, the guy who made Hi-Fi Rush and made, was it Tokyo? Hotwire Tokyo? Wow. That game, the Tokyo game. I think he made that game as well. Or no, he did the Evil Within 2 and Hi-Fi Rush. Forgot his name. But he's coming back to head the studio, which is cool. And Microsoft sold the Hi-Fi Rush IP to Creighton, whatever. The PUBG people. They're Korean, right? So one cool thing is that it's a Korean studio. And there's a lot of good animation houses that come out of Korea. A lot of good, like if you look at all the games that come out of Korea, a lot of them are anime inspired or animation inspired. Even like Stellar Blade is like kind of anime inspired, you know what I mean? So that's a good fit, I would say, Hi-Fi Rush. But you know, people like Zucker and others in the industry or adjacent, the influencers, if you will, they keep asking the question, why did Microsoft do this? Why did it? They saw that they had a hit on their hands. Was it a hit? Financially? Probably not. Critically? Sure. Critical darling. But critical darlings are what, if you say, yo, we got critical darlings all the way, but you ain't making no money, guess what? Your company's closing. You out of business because you have to make money. And I will say, one thing he said is that it probably wasn't like, it was probably higher ups that said, They looked at the numbers. They looked at their track record. They lost money on every game that they made. I think we're done bleeding, basically. That's what I think happened. And I don't blame upwards at Microsoft because they need to keep the business going, even though it may be a dumb decision to us people who aren't looking at the books. They're not looking at the performance. And you couple that with, the leader, the dude who was super creative in all these endeavors for the most part, left and created a new studio. Who's to say that Microsoft's not going to sit around, like, be the first one? Oh, we're going to publish that. We're gonna hook up with Shinji Mikami, whatever his name is, and whatever game he's making with his new studio that's basically Tango Gameworks, but just a different name. Everybody left and went over there. What if Microsoft acquires them? What if Microsoft funds them to make their next game and is Xbox exclusive? Then what? Was that a dumb decision? You know? Also, the game that the new Tango Gameworks is making under PUBG, Frampton, whatever their name is, supposed to be a first-person action-adventure game. Is it set in the early 1900s? Whatever. Inspired by Prey and, the games that they make. And so I was like, okay, cool. I mean, it'd probably be a good game. They don't have a publisher. As I understand it, they're shopping for a publisher, right? Even though what's his name bought them. I guess they still need a publisher because they're not I don't know. So who's to say Microsoft won't publish that game? And the language that they used in this deal, they're like, okay, Microsoft, like, I think it might be in some editorializing, but they're like the articles are saying Microsoft sold Tango to Flampton, whatever they call it. And also the IP, the Hi-Fi Rush IP. And then they say, well, the PUBG people, they're working with Microsoft in order to get the transition and the studios. I'm like, huh? What? Why does that need to be said? A. And if Microsoft sells a studio, right? So is Microsoft still connected some way? Because why would they need to do that? You understand? I mean, they were closed. They were like dead in the water. And then they said, all right, y'all not closed yet, but y'all are sold. He's your new daddy, right? So I'm like, are they going to stay in the same building? Are they going to stay in a Microsoft-owned building? Also, that's the only IP that they got. So, Evil Within, Ghostwire Tokyo, Deathloop, all those games are still under Microsoft. They still own those. Bethesda, they still own those. So, it seemed a little suspicious. It seemed like, I mean, business is crazy. Maybe Microsoft was like, all right, we need to cut some money from our books. We're going to close you, or which would be better. Or they said they were trying to find a new home for them. Remember that? And they didn't say, we couldn't find a new home, or I mean, I don't know the exact wording, but they said we were trying to find a new home for them, blah, blah, blah. And I guess nobody took it, whatever. And then I guess Crampy Slamps came around and said, check how much money we got in the account. And they went, can we lease that from you? Ooh, what if it's like a lease deal? Right? Has that ever happened? I don't know. Here's another thing that I'm curious about. Has that ever happened? That question. Has a big company, corporation, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, ever closed a studio only to shortly after revive it to sell it so that it wouldn't have to fire these people and stuff, right? Has that ever happened? I'm not sure. Because usually it's just like, oh, they sold them or whatever, you know. It's never, oh, we closing the studio. And like, whoa, we're not closing it no more. We gonna reopen it, then we gonna sell it. I've never heard of that happening ever in the industry. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comments below if that's ever happened. I don't think so. I mean, maybe something was closed down and somebody bought the rights to it, like Atari or something, and then somebody put money into it and brought it back, but not like quick succession like how this happened. I'm like, this is a first or something. But it also shows that Microsoft kind of cares, right? Because they're like, look, we got to close y'all. We're trying to find y'all a home. We couldn't find, you know, and then in the 13th millionth hour, you know, Crappy Slams call up. They're like, yo, is it still available? Like Facebook Marketplace. Microsoft put Tango Gameworks up on Facebook. Yo, you still got it? Okay, I'm on my way. You want to meet in the parking lot at the Home Depot? Okay, let's go. No, not Home Depot. It's too dark. Let's go. Go to Publix ain't any better. Why all these parking lots be dark? Anyway, I don't know. I mean, look, at the end of the day, it's good news because people still working. They can still do whatever they want to do. Hopefully that Hi-Fi Rush 2, which everybody's assuming that's what they're gonna make. Sure, I can see how that is an assumption that people are jumping to. Hopefully it's good. You know, I never wish a company to make a bad game unless they're a bad company. Then they can go kick rocks. But I don't know, man. It still seems like Microsoft is connected somehow with that whole Tango Gameworks and stuff. But I mean, I'm not worried about it. Bottom line is this also. Now I know before Phil was talking about, oh, we want Japanese, we want the Asian market, blah blah blah, and they're looking at it and they're like, I mean, it would be nice, but honestly, realistically, you look at the numbers that PlayStation is doing in Japan and Asia. It ain't that much. And Microsoft is looking to, well, with their acquisition, they've already kind of captured a lot of the market, you know, with the Candy Crush numbers and all that. They've done what they needed to do. Now they need to, you know, if you want to compartmentalize all of the segments, you know, Game Pass is still not where they wanted it to be. So we'll see how Call of Duty and all that stuff kind of bolster those numbers. Another thing, tangent but not a tangent, the whole Call of Duty thing where they're not allowed to market or mass market Game Pass with it is suspicious. But also, I've heard a bunch of theories. One theory is, oh, it's because of the court case and the actual deal that they signed with Sony to put it on PlayStation. They can't market that it's on Game Pass or whatever. And you know what? That makes the most sense out of all the other out of most of them. Actually, that makes sense, and this next one I'm gonna say makes sense in that they know the value of Call of Duty as far as a game that people will buy. Okay, if people are used to buying the super duper dope gold bullet edition, whatever it's called, and they say, yeah, I'm gonna spend I don't know how much it is, $80, $100, whatever it is. I do it every year. I'm gonna spend. That's what I do. That's the one game I play. Microsoft is like, look, they're gonna buy it anyway. Don't matter where they buy it. We gonna get 70 at least, and 100 at most. And I mean, I guess you could say at least, you know, the Game Pass sub at least, but whatever. So I forgot who. I think it was Joey on Dirk Wrigley's and Sean show. WBG, excuse me. He said it's a win, regardless of how people obtain Call of Duty this fall. It's a win for Microsoft. So they don't care. They don't need to push Game Pass to bolster the numbers because the money they're gonna make from the sales, it's all gravy, baby. You know what I mean? And if they get a little bit of movement on Game Pass, that's cool too. So that's like when I was talking before in the other video when they have the multi-pronged approach. That's what it is. Call of Duty is a perfect example of that, and it's working, how it's working, and it's working. You know, Game Pass sub, buy it outright, play it on PlayStation and Nintendo Switch 2 whenever that, I guess the next one comes out on that, whenever that system's released. But that's why I don't think that they care, that they don't need to promote that, oh, it's on Game Pass, because they see the monetary value of it being sold. They own it. So it doesn't make a difference how they make the money as long as they make the money. And I think deep down, like, the higher ups are like, we would prefer to sell the game to millions of people at full price. Or actually more than full price, because the super duper golden bullets edition clips and stuff, whatever, I don't know what's going. So business wise, that makes sense. So it's like, okay, we don't have to, maybe down the line we can, 6 months later we say, hey, it's on Game Pass or something. I don't know. So, I see all the sides of that, the thinking behind why them signing a deal and why Sony would like, yeah, that's cool, that's a good deal for us. Meanwhile, it doesn't matter because they're still making money. Sure, you make it a little 30%, and a lot of people are gonna buy it on PlayStation, but they're paying the pimp. Sony's getting pimped out by Marvel. Sony's getting pimped out by Microsoft. Sony's getting abused this generation. Y'all don't think it's you ponies and donkey unicorns. Y'all are stuck on console sales, and you're ignoring all the pimp slapping that's happening to Sony this generation. Microsoft pimp slapped them so hard across the industry that a CEO had to run and take out all his money and disappear. Where's Jim Ryan? He's gone. He don't even have another job. He's just like, yo, I'm gonna just cash out. I'm gone. I'm going back to England. I'm gonna get me some fish and chips. I'm good, mate. He's like, oi, I can't do it no more. I can't even do a British. What was that? That was Scottish or something? I don't know. I gotta practice my accents. Dirk Griggity's he's been practicing a lot. I'm gonna catch up to you, Dirk. This means war, Dirk. You'll see. You'll see. I'm gonna practice. We talking about practice. Hey, we talking about practice. I'm a practice. Listen. Anyway. So, yeah. Sorry, Rumble rambles. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below about, the whole Ghostwire Tokyo. Wow. Hi-Fi Rush, Tango Gameworks. Seems a little weird, but not really, but kind of, but sort of. But we'll see. We'll see. Like, I didn't really get into why I was upset with Zucker and what he said, but all right, real quick. It's about him kind of emphasizing, oh, Microsoft was so dumb. Why are they, not doing this? And why are they, giving up closing the studio when they made the banger and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, y'all are just ignoring the business side. You don't have all of the facts. So you're giving an uninformed opinion, basically. I don't even know why. I can speculate as to why. And he has too. And he says, well, maybe this is not, but he still emphasizes why. Just like Crap Gamer. I actually listened to one of his goofy ass videos today. The same thing. It's almost like y'all got a script. I said this before. Somebody's getting the video game AP script and just reading it. Or they hear somebody saying like, yeah, I'm going to say that too. Not me. I'm like, yo, if you're going to sell something that you think is valuable, or was valuable at one point, but it ain't worth it no more. It ain't worth it no more. Why was Tango Gameworks not worth it to Microsoft? You gotta think about why. They have the money. Here's the bottom line. Bottom line is the bottom line. Here's the bottom line. If Tango was pulling their weight, if they were making buckets of money, banger games, everybody loved it, they're making all the money, blah, 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 they wouldn't have sold them. Something happened. They wouldn't have sold them, period. So they had to sold them. Anyway, okay, last thing that I'll say, I'll give Zucker credit for. He did repeat the PR thing that Aaron Greenberg said after, you know, people were kind of doubting Hi-Fi Rush and stuff. Like, oh, Hi-Fi Rush performed in all aspects, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, first of all, he's the marketing director dude at Xbox or whatever. He's going to say anything nice to make it seem like everything's roses over at Microsoft. He's not going to say the actual reality and the truth. So, you know, that's part of the game too. So I'm like, whatever. I don't really, I'm not going to say I don't trust stuff that he says, but he's going to sugarcoat stuff to make it seem like it's, you know. But honestly, like I said before, I think it has to do less with, well, Hi-Fi Rush does factor into it, but I think that game took too long to make, and also their previous games were not successful. And that's, I think, the main thing that Microsoft was looking at. This studio made like 6 games or 5, however many games, and none of them hit. None of them were successful. So we're just gonna keep funding this, you know, it's a money pit basically. You just pour money into this thing that doesn't bring a return. So where's the money coming in to fund this passion project? I don't know what you would call it. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta look at all the possible aspects of why they got closed down, they got shut down, and eventually sold off, which is, like I said, the best case scenario. So it's a long way around the mountain to get to everything is not doom and gloom. Thank you. I'm glad that studio's still around though, for real. But anyway, appreciate y'all hanging out. Like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments. Let me know about Tango, Hi-Fi Rush. Let me know about the other stuff that I talk about that I just totally forgot about because it doesn't matter. Oh yeah, Zocker and whatever, and something else. Don't matter. And yeah, that's about it. I'll check y'all on the next one. Just wait.